Hey guys, so it's currently February 16th, and it's been almost a month since I updated you on the progress of the rewrite for It Starts With Goodbye. So before I start, I would like to say that my iPad is balanced, again, very precariously over here, and my one hand is holding it in place, so I'm going to do my best not to move it. But I believe that in the last video I had just finished Chapter 1, and as it stands, I've rewritten 26 of the chapters, or 25 of the chapters, because I removed Chapter 24 from the book. The original Chapter 24 was very short, and the events weren't really that important. I think it was Valentine's Day. So instead, I just made them reference it in Chapter 25, and I think the new Chapter 24, the old Chapter 25. And I think it just runs smoother that way, so I'm pretty happy with that. But I'm going to switch hands. There we go. So at the moment, I have 28,226 words rewritten. I currently don't know what the original count of the book was. I would have to copy all of the old chapters and put them into a new document to figure that out. And maybe eventually I will do that to figure out if I went up or down or whatever in word count. But word count isn't the most important thing to me when it comes to a story. So, as you know, this is how I've been keeping track of all my things. So, I have this here on the side. Could you focus on that, maybe? It's kind of there. These on the sides are extra scenes that I will plan on eventually adding into the book. I think I currently have 5 of them. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. I have 6 ideas for new scenes. So some of them are conversations between people that aren't Seth and Ashley. Some of them are extensions of conversations between Seth and Ashley. It kind of depends on what I felt that chapter needed. But I'm still doing the same thing where on each chapter I'm writing down what happens in each scene, or what I changed. So like Chapter 4, Scene 1, added a bit more detail to Ashley's thought process when she wakes up in the dark. More care before sneaking into Seth's room makes her a bit more human. In the original write of the book, first of all, Ashley is scared of the dark, and in the original book 3, that is rarely mentioned, even when she wakes up in the dark and should be relatively scared, especially when she's just come out of a nightmare or a vision of somebody dying. But she's rarely affected by it, even though she's genuinely terrified of the dark. So I've made sure to include that in the rewrite, because it's very important to her character, it's important to who she is, and I left out a lot of that originally, because my main goal was to just finish the book so I could move on to something else. But now I'm giving it time and letting it do its thing, basically. The makes her a bit more human part. The scene where she wakes up in the dark, she doesn't want to sleep alone anymore, so she goes into Seth's room. In the original book, she just went in there and she really didn't care at all. In the rewrite, she considers it for a moment. She's like, should I knock on the door? I don't want to do that. I don't want to wake him up. That would be rude. And then she considers going back to the guest room, so that way she doesn't have to worry about waking him up, but she knows that she won't be able to sleep, and she knows that she has to go to work with Seth in the morning. And she feels like anything she does is a loss, but she does decide to go into his room and sleep there, so that way she can at least get a few hours of sleep and hope for the best. So the thought process makes her seem a bit more human and makes her less, I come first, whatever I want to do goes, end of story. Because that's kind of how she was in the first book, even though it doesn't fit her personality type. She is a bold person. She does use humor, and she does build up walls to defend herself from everything she's been through. But she's still a human being, and she's still young, and she still has feelings and emotions. It's just in the first book, I didn't care enough to include any of those, and I'm trying my best to improve that. So, here. Some of them, the chapters are super short, and like here I've made a note, to combine chapters 9 and 10 into one chapter because they take place on the same day, but chapter 9 was only 406 words and chapter 10 was only 373 words. So they both take place in the same exact day in the timeline, but I separated them into 2 chapters. I guess maybe that was just a day where I was having a hard time writing a chapter, but I just decided to combine them because it's more useful that way. Currently in the document they're still separate, and I plan on pushing them together when I edit the book the first time, so that way I can realign all my scenes and it doesn't confuse things, because otherwise I'll be rewriting chapter 27 and it'll be chapter 25. It's confusing enough when I'm rewriting chapter 27 and chapter 26 because I removed chapter 24. You know, streamline. But I don't think I have anything super important to say. I know that so far this rewrite has been incredibly difficult, and I have to force myself to do it most days, and there are days that I don't touch the book at all. It's been 3 days since I last wrote in the rewrite. I've been editing other books. I'm re-editing the Kathy Baker series, and I just finished the second edit of Cut to the Kill, which is one of the next books I'll be self-publishing along with this one. So I have a lot of editing and a lot of writing and a lot of researching and whatnot on my plate, and when it comes to the Ashley Joan rewrite, even though I am starting to like the characters again, it's hard to force myself to work on that one when I like my other stuff more. And I think that's okay, because if I force myself to work on it when I don't want to, I'll come to a point where I hate the book and I hate the characters again, and I don't want that. So, although I do have a time set, I do want to finish it before the end of March. I wanted to finish it before the end of this month, but unless I really jump on it, I don't think that's going to happen. But we'll see. But even though I do have a time set for when I do want to get it done, a relative time, it's pretty flexible. I still want to give it as much time as I can to be itself and adjust to the story and find where everything belongs. Because the last thing I want to do is drive myself to hate the third book when the first 2 are already self-published. That would not be good. So I think that that's pretty much everything I have to say at the moment. But I am going to do my best to work on every single one of my books today, which is writing 6 of them, I believe. And currently just this rewrite, and I'm working on re-editing the second book in the Kathy Baker series at the moment. So I plan on working on everything today, hopefully, and then I will have a third update on this series to you guys soon. Probably when I finish the rewrite, but if not, you'll have an in-between somewhere in there. Either way, I will do my best to keep you guys updated on how this rewrite goes and all of the ups and downs of rewriting a book that just totally missed the par. So, until next time, bye for now.